So we're off in the desert and we're traveling from Little Devil's Peak across to Devil's Peak Trail. And this is just mostly just us driving through washes. It's just being in the desert. Enjoying the scenery. We get to Devil's Peak and made a couple attempts, but decided that I wasn't going to risk going up there. But that's in here too. But other than that, it's just mostly driving across the desert, and then mostly what I save is like an interesting spot here is that it doesn't look like a whole heck of a lot, but when I was crossing it, the front on the driver's side got super light, so I thought it was in the air, and I stopped and got out and took some pictures. And you'll see, I mean, it's off the ground. But like pretty much I'm on 3 tires, and I stayed on 3 tires the whole time, and then was on 4 tires, but was able to just, you can see, it's like, okay, I started driving, and then once the front tire touched, it's just like, oh, there we go. Here's another interesting thing, like you can't even hardly tell where the trail is because the wash from the rains and stuff just were so strong, they just basically like added all these big rocks across where the trail was. So I think most of this change happened from Hurricane Hillary, the hurricane that was in here, but we did have some rains recently too, but I think a lot of these trails got changed quite a bit from when it was raining when we moved here from the hurricane. But that's one thing with these washes. I mean, it's just amazing to see. Like, we're in the desert. You wouldn't think, it would get all that much rain here, even at any one time. But there are spots here where it's just like the wash is so wide, like 50, 100 yards wide, and just full of just like large rocks and whatnot. Like, this is just a little wash here, but there's a spot coming up that you'll see. It's just like there's so many rocks, and you can see how the water just cut away and made it even wider than it was before then. I mean, it's truly amazing. mean, just look how wide this wash is. Isn't that crazy? I mean, just think of all the water that was rushing through here when this happened. I mean, I'm sure there was water all over the desert at that time, but like this whole area had to have been just like a raging river. You know, the power to move all those rocks. And there's a spot, so we're heading up to Devil's Peak at this point, and there's a spot up by Devil's Peak where, I mean, you're just like up in the mountains. And it's like there's all these rocks, and like the mountains themselves don't look like these rocks. So it's kind of like, I'm thinking these were like mining tailings or something that were like right near the edge. And like the rain grabbed all those rocks and boulders that they yanked out of the mines up in the mountains and then just threw them down in the wash, because like there's just so much. I mean, much more than this, and this thing is just massive right here. I mean, this is just crazy. And to think all these washes were like, you know, done at the same time. It's not like it just rained in one little section and then that wash, you know, got all the water. It's like, no. And like you look at like straight across, like that part of the trail just went and just got completely undercut. And you can see it's like, you know, we're just going through the wash and just go around a little bit and then back up onto the trail. But I mean, that's the power of water. It's amazing. And we're getting close. We're almost all the way up there now. we are. We're coming to, like you can see back up in the mountain. We're heading all the way up this wash. But just look how wide this wash is. And look how far it cut the side by this trail down. It's like, it's a huge drop, and it just goes all the way across, and it's just full of like lots of large rocks. I mean, it's just amazing. You see something like that, it's just absolutely crazy. Here you can kind of see, this is kind of funny. It's like there was enough room for me, but because of, being up in the Jeep and how tall you are, it was hard to tell. So I could not tell that I was going to be able to make it. And so I actually had to stop and get out and take a look and be like, oh yeah, I can do this. But kind of funny. This here, it's like, even here, like the trail, like you see how it just gouged it right down. Made that huge hole there. Just look at all that. That is just crazy. So here I went all the way to the end of that trail there, and then what I found was that there was just a big drop in the wash where basically the wash cut into itself and then made a big drop. So I dropped off at this point and then traveled over all this stuff here. I mean, and this wash here, just driving up this is just like a cool trail. I mean, it's pretty adventurous. Just getting out. It's like, you just like looking at it, it's just like, where the hell is this thing going? Basically here in the wash, I'm just looking for whatever's the easy way to get up into that Slot Canyon area. As you can tell, it's like it's not where it was marked on the GPS. That's the thing with washes, they change after every rain, pretty much anyway. They cover up the trail or move it a little bit. And that's why it's hard, like you get in a wash sometimes, and if the trail has like a split or something in there, and it's like you don't notice, and it's like before you know it, it's like, oh, trail's over there like 100 yards or quarter mile or something. It's like, how the hell did I end up over here? You know, I didn't see the turn. So this first section was a lot bigger. I've seen in videos this was a lot bigger. It's, you know, it's pretty small now in comparison. And this one here, it's like, it's kind of deceptive, but it's like, you know, where the tire placement goes. The first time I was like a little bit off to the passenger side, and then it just slid the Jeep over to the passenger side on top of scraping the front bumper. And then you'll see this next time I'm a little bit more driver's side, and then I'm like slipping towards that hole. So I just opted to play it safe, and we turned around and did not complete this. And now we're just gonna make our way back out, and we'll take a different way home so we don't have to travel the same way. And the interesting thing is, we ended up, Devil's Peak Trail comes out right next to Highway Interstate 15, and it crosses under, and when it crosses under, it turns into Las Vegas Boulevard, which apparently that's the end of it. Isn't that something? All the way out here, like more than 20 miles past Jean, it's like all that stuff. That's pretty crazy. if you've made it this far, I just want to say thanks for watching.